Hi, this is Andrew, and I'm here with Captain Fox in the tutorial modes of Templar Battleforce. This is the second level. I'm here to show off some of the strategies that you'll want to employ to keep your Templars alive. Templar Battleforce is a game that relies on your superior tactics and your superior equipment to keep enemies at a distance. You never really want to be standing in a fair toe-to-toe fight with enemies. Xenos especially, they are very deadly. They'll kill you very quickly. So the whole thing is to make sure that you're kind of overwhelming and keeping them at a distance. That's the biggest thing. You can't ever allow turns to go by where you're standing toe-to-toe with enemies. So I'm going to come piling out of here. Immediately, we've got a Xeno. Just going to open up fire. Get rid of him, hopefully. Okay, I'm playing a normal, by the way. Bring my soldier out. And gonna put an overwatch over here because I know played the level enough times to know that enemies are likely to come from that vector. And we're gonna bring out Luther and end my turn. So immediately, if I hadn't been able to kill that Xeno with 2 plasma shots from the captain, then I would have turned all fire on him to make sure that he dies. So that's one thing you'll see here that I'm gonna do a lot of, is making sure that we focus. So move in and get the story event. Now, again, to get the focus going, my captain's going to run up here. He's going to give a slash. And I get a lucky critical. Good for him. He's moving a little bit closer to the enemies. Luther, do a quick count of squares. And put him up here in position. He can actually reach this guy. I have burst fire. It does area effects. So trying to get the skittering as well. I'm going to blast out at these guys. Okay. So maybe not the best plan here, as Luther is going to have to face 2 skitterings, but he's got a shield. It's pretty high auto block. We're hoping for some counterattacks. I immediately kind of like didn't do what I was saying, was keep the Xeno at a distance, but you can see with a shield that you can get away with a lot of pretty solid combat. Now, I'm going to hang out here and defend for a little while, because I'm waiting on engineering build-ups. So defensive squares are great for that. You really want to make sure to take advantage of your cover. I'm going to put that there and put my captain up here. And then Luther is going to go into the den of the enemy. I know there's a spawning point over here because I played it a lot. And he's going to go hunting that. Now, again, the critical thing here is to really make sure that you are focusing on a fire and keeping distance between you and the targets at all times. So again, I know I can get up here. I can make 2 attacks on the skittering. There should be no way it can withstand my attacks. And the same with the captain. Like, this is a situation, if I don't do something, then I'm going to end my turn. That Xeno is going to get to charge me. So I'm going to step up 1, fire on it twice, because I don't really want to go out into that open space right now. And I'm going to retreat a little bit. This is, again, just kind of the space management approach to keep Xenos at a distance. There we go. So now we get a problem when they came out of nowhere. Luckily, I'm playing a normal. Captain's pretty good at soaking up hits like that and can get his counterattacks for better defense. Since enemies are clearly coming through there, I'm going to use the commander's confidence buff. And maybe actually at this point, I'm going to start pushing forward a little bit. Captain's strong enough to handle that on his own. Luther is headed another direction altogether. And you can see there's a spawning point down here. With Blade Weave, Luther's area effect attack, he can actually kill both of those. He gets busy. It's at 25 HP to go. And at that point, Luther's kind of going to close that up so I can send the captain my soldier north. I want to get pressing on the stack point. These levels are easier if you spend less time in them, so I don't want to take a bunch of time. But I'm going to get into a couple more engagements and just show the kind of space management issues you want to do with your Templars a few different ways. So now I can recruit this engineer. He's going to immediately come and help out. Using buffs is a critical part of keeping your squad together and healthy. So whenever possible, group up in a form like this. All buffs are 9 boxes. So I drop power field on the crew. And the soldier is going to drop his ranged accuracy on the crew, and then we're going to start cleaning up skitterings. No reason here not to just drop him ranged instead of engaging. I get into that advantage square, and the soldier can make a run for it as well. He'll be interested in that momentarily. And Luther is going to kill that spawning point. Now that the spawning point is dead, I don't want to... Those hallways are kind of dangerous, so I'm just headed home, back to work with the team. Rest of the team, somebody does have to hold this tack point, so it's kind of critical to keep someone nearby. But you can see, okay, here we've got another situation. So there's multiple enemies coming. The 3 hunters. The whole thing that I'm going to try to avoid is any ability for the hunters to stack up on my captain, that they get a turn to attack. If they reach the captain and attack, very likely to do damage. So the whole point of this is going to be identifying who's a threat, neutralizing them with whatever I have, or potentially retreating if necessary. So in this little scenario, I have 3 hunters and a skitter. Skittering is way less risky the target, so I'm actually going to step up. It's a great moment. Okay, I threw a grenade, didn't go off. I'm going to try again, throw a grenade. Boom, I got one of them. That's not the best plan. Okay, I was able to hit the second one. Now, to really protect the captain, I'm going to want to put down an overwatch. I'm going to drop an overwatch, I think right here. Get my captain selected. He still has 3 moves, so I'm going to pull him back across the overwatch territory. That's a lot about the territory control there. Make sure that... anyone who wants to come after the captain or the soldier has to walk into his field of fire, and pull up my engineer to assist in this kind of zone control, and for a chance to actually kill that hunter. I'm not going to get him, but I'll tag him with another hit there. So now I've got 1 untouched hunter and 1 weakened hunter coming into the fire zone, and that should be enough. In this case, I'm just going to run. I'll face that skittering next turn maybe. I'm going to get back to the defensive barricades. So you can see the result of my turn here. I was able to kill one of the hunters, one of the skitterings, greatly weaken one of the hunters. So now one of them managed to get through. I based my whole turn around how to make sure that none of them could reach any of the Templars at the end of the turn. So you can see that he doesn't move that far, and I have Overwatch blasting him. So while there were 4 enemies at the beginning of the turn, by the end of the turn I was able to get into position. I gave a little ground, but I got into a safe position where no one has taken any damage. Luther is going to dodge behind this barricade. We're going to, since I'm trying to press right now, the engineer will do firing if he can. He takes out the hunter, and then I'm going to press with the soldier and the captain. I'm just going to drop a close overwatch. That gives me a pretty good radius there of covered territory. And Luther's going to come under some fire, but he's in a cover square, so behind that barricade he's got his best chance. You can see, again, just using Overwatch to try to anticipate attack vectors, keep aliens at a distance. And Luther is in that defensive square. He gets an automatic success. Like an extra dice. He's not even rolling, he just gets a +1 at the end of it, so that's huge. That really enables counterattacking. If you have a melee Templar in a cover zone like that, his counterattack's gonna be very powerful, so rely on that. It looks like, since we're already pretty split up, Luther's actually gonna get to babysit the attack point. Usually I would use the soldier, but this is probably a pretty good plan. So run up, get rid of the skittering, and then the captain will do whatever he can to move forward. I'm able to kind of, again, this is really about the focus fire, not going too far, too fast, but you can see I made about 3 spaces, and I put up Overwatch again. It gives a chance for the engineer to catch up. He's going to tell me about how we need to take that attack point out, which is great news. Now, there definitely gets to be a kind of an uncomfortable moment here near the attack point. Everyone's power field is running out, so I really need to be aware of that and need to buff everybody up. Here we go, buffing. Looks like Commander's Confidence is actually already out, and the calling shots is running out as well, so I'll try to get that next turn back up if I can. I want to keep everybody buffed all the time. There's a little bit of time management to watch there. Again, you can see Luther on normal in his cover square is just able to kind of clean up pretty easily. Again, a lot of this is the tactics being keeping the Xenos at a distance. That's really critical. You don't ever want a turn where a Xeno can attack you. That's a turn that you did something wrong, maybe should have given more ground, or you're being overwhelmed. So now I can get my engineer up into the face of the attack point. I can fire on this xeno. It looks like they're coming out of that direction, but there's also attack point. I'm going to overwatch like right here, and my captain is going to clean up this xeno and kind of stand ready for the next ones if any more come by. So there we go. All right, so we got another one. If he gets moving, he would come into my overwatch zone, so I'm in a kind of a safe spot here. I can come out of overwatch and in and out of overwatch in a single turn, so I'm currently overwatching. I can just drop into burst fire. I missed, but I can safely go back into overwatch. Captain's going to pace a little bit, get himself into a situation I expect. We already seen Xeno come out of that corridor, so I wouldn't be surprised if more show up. And we're going to run the turn, and hopefully things will just progress. I don't want any more Xeno to show up, unfortunately. Looks pretty good for this turn. No one has appeared. The Overwatch was able to keep them at a distance. I hit up my attack point. We got 20% remaining, and great news, I can get a new soldier. I drop the soldier onto the board. He's going to back Luther up. We're in a pretty good position here. Things have gone well on that. I think probably also on timing. I don't know what term it is, but we were able to press pretty quickly. Pretty quickly being, okay, that's bad. See, this is the type of turn we're talking about avoiding. We're getting very lucky on some of these combat rolls, but this is the kind of thing that you would be facing. So Xeno comes out of nowhere. We do some shooting of that Xeno. Thunk. Okay, and I'm going to repeat here where I can get in and out of Overwatch in a turn. I really made a mistake there. I should have captured. It's going to make me stay here longer than I want to stay here, but we're really close now. That's not good. Okay. Yeah, so there's some damage coming in. And I'm getting sloppy because I'm kind of playing fast and I feel like I'm close to the end, but I'm really not quite there yet. The Xenos are coming in on every side now. Oh, yeah, they're freaking everywhere. The bugs, that's what they do. So now hopefully get rid of this attack point. Oh, come on. So now we just have to focus. He dodged. Great. Okay, so here you are again. In a situation in which we can't kill all the Xeno in a single round. What are we going to do? Hard to give ground because I can move the engineer, so that's good. I can give ground, which allows me to make use of Overwatch. If I'm not able to give any ground, then I wouldn't have been able to Overwatch on this hunter. He's going to be the hardest one to kill. He also can do the most damage. Let's start by trying to take... Oh, God. He's dodging like you wouldn't believe. So now the hope is that we can get him out. If we get him out, we do. Then I'm going to put up a Overwatch here, which is going to catch that skittering twice. The skittering should never reach the engineer alive. I have one frag grenade left. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to sit on that. Things are getting kind of nasty in there. I'm going to keep these two guarding the attack point, even though it's kind of pointless. They're not going to reach the main fight up here in time to do anything. The engineer supposed to need about 2 more turns. So there we go again, just relying on block and counters to keep me alive. And here we go. Splat, splat. More Xeno coming from more directions. As hoped, the Overwatch was able to do them. So started that turn and ended my part of the turn with 2 of the Xeno alive and was able to prevent any of them from reaching my Templars. If they get to your Templars, expect a mess. They're going to kill Templars very quickly. A hunter can take out a captain in a turn or 2 if he has uninterrupted access to that captain. So you really need to be playing this game where you're controlling the space and not allowing them to get close to you, and using focus and giving ground and moving slowly forward. Rushing in toe-to-toe with them is not good. Especially your captain starts out ranged and melee, so that's a great way you can use the both of them together to be able to kind of keep that distance, especially when you're getting good at the game in the beginning. That said, a shield like Luther's carrying is really helpful for auto block, and there we have the level beat. I won't play out the whole finish sequence in case you haven't gotten through this part, but you can see I wanted to kind of show some tactics here of how to advance slowly, use Overwatch to press, focus fire, fall back when necessary. Xenos are fast, but they're not that fast. You give a couple of spaces and put an Overwatch between you and them. You can easily bring them down, rely on counterattack when necessary. Think about your targets. If you got some hunters and a Xeno, focus the fire and kill the hunter. Or a hunter and a skittering, focus your fire, kill the skittering. You'll be able to, that's all wrong. Don't listen to Andrew. If you have a hunter and a skittering, focus your fire and kill the high value target, the hunter, and hope that the skittering bounces or you get a good counterattack. All sorts of things like that. I hope this has been helpful. Just a little tactical rundown, and enjoy. Ve Victis Templar.